Recalling that makes me laugh. That's right, Chinatsu and I suddenly made plans to go on a date soon after getting to know each other. What happened after that? My chest feels like it's being torn apart. I want to see everyone. I want to go back to Seishu. The smiles of Nanoha and Chinatsu remain buried in the back of my eyelids. I can still practically smell the scent of the breeze from back then.
レイン、ここから青州学園都市まで。
青州学園都市。
また、なんで俺はここにいるんだ。
それは行かせてやればいい。先生、記憶が戻ればこうなることが少尉も分かっていたはずだろう。
Oh, let me guess. The academy's like destroyed and in ruins. That's why they're all dark and gloomy about it. Brain's like, Seishu Academy City. No, we can't possibly send him there. And Noah's like, nah, he's got to see. He's got to see what's going on.
ならば、お供します。
Rain answers with an encouraging smile. Chapter 4, Ground Zero. Yeah, that doesn't sound great. That doesn't sound like we're heading for happy times here. Oh, but we're back into a flashback. Oh yeah, gotta prep for the date, of course.
お前がデート初体験なのは全身でパフォーマンスしたいのなら
Masa pats me on the shoulder in a bid to cheer and shape me up.
頑張ってこい。うまくいけば彼女と趣味クラム戦の相棒を同時にゲットできるわけだしな。
頑張ってみる。ってちょっと待て。
おいおい、お前何しに行くんだよ。
I was so excited that I thought had completely slipped my mind. This date goes well, and I get close to Chinatsu.
マサ大変だ。渚千夏が俺の彼女になるの。
ちょっとあた。
Looks like even Masa can't deal with this. He leaves me and exits the room. I guess I can dive for a bit and calm down. Close my eyes and dive into cyberspace.
あ、いけね。
I didn't need to visit Aki's private space now, did I? I looked to leave, but right at that moment, I hear someone call out to me. Turn around and see that girl standing there.
や、こんにちは。
Talking to her might be a good idea. It'll calm my nerves.
ちには。
I've met her several times since Aki gave me an account for this place, but we still can't seem to get a conversation going. But
通じなくても。
she nods her head, almost as if to say, yeah, I do understand. I'd realized over the course of our meetings that she can't exactly be called an ordinary girl. I mean, she shows up here anytime you call for her. I'd rather not believe it, but she might have some kind of illness. An illness that traps her indoors. I remember hearing somewhere that there are a lot of kids like that who stay online all the time. If she is one of them, I feel bad for her.
昨日は来れなくてごめん。
いろいろ。
ついに進級が確定したんだ。おかげで夕方まで星。
いろいろ。
That's why I started telling her about my daily life. She pays careful attention to what I'm saying while slipping in somewhat strange responses in between. Thanks to that, my mood lightens up before I know it.
そうそう。例の千夏って子が仲間になってくれるかもしれない。うん。前話した。実は今日は千夏とこれから。
To go on a date with her today is what I mean to say, but I ended up hesitating for some reason.
これから。
Why? I have no reason to feel bad about telling a friend that I'm going on a date. All that aside, how do I even feel about Chinatsu? I certainly do find her quite charming. Sure, being with her would be a lot of fun.
それを言うな。
Unaware as I start telling her about what's on my mind.
アキネやナノハといたってそれなら友達でいいは彼女にする意味って
なんだろう。
こんなことを疑問。俺まだ恋愛してないってこと。
When I say that out loud, my face starts burning up. What the hell am I blurting out?
ごめん、今の取り消し。
So embarrassed I could die. Turn the other way to hide my face, but
ゲリシ。
But she gets up close to me and peers into my face. Pink lips look really soft. Oh, being my girlfriend would mean she wouldn't mind kissing or going even further with me. The moment the thought crossed my mind, the girl jumped away from me. Why is she blushing harder than I am? Oh, she must figure out what I was thinking. She's really perceptive, huh? Maybe she can read my mind and figure out what's going through it at any given moment.
ごめん。
While I try to figure out how to deal with this, I get a call from the real world.
おいこう。
もう来ちゃったのか。わかった。今行くよ。
Shots started here. My nerves flare up again. My heart starts racing, so I take a deep breath. I look toward the girl and see that she seems somewhat unhappy.
また。
She gives me a big nod with her cheeks still blushing.
じゃあ行ってきます。
行ってまげす。さて、今日はどこに連れて行ってくれ。
Snatch casually locks arms with me. Never realized girls had such soft and slender arms. Fully hits me that I'm really on a date here.
とりあえず電車で
オッケー。じゃ退屈なの。
While feeling my heart skip a beat, I start walking toward the station.
本当に退屈な。
お互いよく眠れたよ。
こうってはああいうベタベタな練習。
千夏より先に寝るぐらいに好きだ。
あのさ、言いたくないけど女の子をデートに誘うなら
チェ退屈なのをリクエストしたくせに。
アドバイスしてあげてるの。あんたが本気で誰かを好きになった時のためにね。
She flashes a bright, cheery smile. The sheer captivating charm of that look only makes her words sting even more.
でどうする？この後は
肩の凝りそうな。
そこ
まさか予約とか苦学生が無理しなくていいって。無理。
As always, she's a bit too blunt, but I know she's just looking out for
身
me.
の丈相応が一番。こうに無理させ。
She says that with an encouraging smile, which makes me feel better.
じゃあ公園で世間話でもしていくか。
それでよし。
The park's on the outskirts of town, so there aren't many people here. The promenade is filled with the singing of birds and the scent of greenery.
ここは本当に静かで退屈だな。
あのな意地でも退屈にしたいんだ。
デートが面白かったらこうは困るんじゃなかったの。
As she laughs, bright sunlight filters through the trees behind her, blinding me for a
に
second.
しても部活以外で学園から離れたのって
俺もだよ。普段なら学園の敷地から出る必要。
In academy cities like Seishu, one can find mostly everything they need without having to go anywhere else. The huge campus includes everything from grade to grad school, and there are enough students and faculty living in the dorms to sustain the local marketplace's business. Because of that, there aren't any competing schools in the vicinity. Except for one very noisy neighbor, that is.
まあ学園でデートなんかしたってつまらなくて当たり前なんだから。それこそ
同感だ。ハメ外して遊ぶ気なら。
電車を乗り継ぎして遠いよねここまで。そう考えると青春ってど田舎じゃない？
You have a perfectly pointless conversation, perhaps influenced by the peaceful atmosphere around the
で
park.
も微妙にミスチョイスだね。静かな公園なら学内にも腐るほどあるんだし。
Even while she's complaining, it's clear as day that she's having fun. I can tell she's not being entirely serious. So I fake a frown and decide to give it back.
じゃあ千夏はどこに行きたかったんだ？
She thinks for a while with a finger on her forehead before
ど
answering.
うせなら
海か。今からでもネットに潜るか。
ネットの海は嫌だな。どうも私仮想のリゾートって好きになれないんだ。
どうして？
例のリミッターってのが悪いのかな。なんか微妙に感覚が嘘くさくて思い通りにならなくて細かいところが気になって。砂も風も水もいい加減。
俺はそんな風に感じない。リミッターオフエリアには行ったことある？
もちろんないよ。だってこの世には本物の海ってのがあるんです。
そりゃハードルが高いな。
There are pretty much no beaches where you can swim left in this province anymore. Even one full of sand is hard to come
今
by.
時本物の海なんてそう気軽に行けるもんじゃないだろ。
そりゃあそうかもしれない。
Frown creeps onto her face like she remembered something unpleasant.
私内陸部の出身でさ、おばあなのに実際の海水浴場ときたら行列はともかく出店やらやたらうるさくて汚いし。
会員制の高級海水浴場はどうだ？
最悪だよ。
Now an expression of melancholy comes over her, similar to the one she wore in the classroom last
へ
evening.
え行ったことがあるんだ。
うん一度だけね招待してもらえて。
その海も最悪に汚かったのか？
綺麗だよ。ただ綺麗な海にいるのはせっかく綺麗なのにみんなそれを眺めてすら誰も泳いでいないんだ。海水浴場なのにさ。
Just by looking at her whispering sadly right now, I can picture her swimming all by herself.
ごめん。
いやそうでもない。
Suddenly, a girl's scream echoes around the park, cutting our conversation
なん
short.
だ？痴漢か？
あこみ
In the direction she points at, there's a timid-looking girl surrounded by 5 guys.
大きな声を上げないでく
One of those guys holding the girl by the arm. It's a handsome Caucasian who's obviously Mr. Richie Rich. He's got a pompous smile on his face.
あの制服あいつら報奨の連中か？
みたいだな。
Husha Academy. Hiseishi is considered the flag bearer for pro-AI academies. Hosho is basically the citadel for anti-AI. It's a boarding school for elites with extremely strict regulations. Those regulations and its conservative image are what the place is known for. Here it's full of students from wealthy families. Long story short, the two schools have contrasting traditions. Since they're located not too far away from each other, they're always at each other's throats.
あいつらも遊ぶときは
あまり価値の良くない遊びみたいだけどな。
話してください。
話さない
あの
クラス委員としては悩みなら僕たちが
His lips warp into a twisted smile as he speaks to her in a condescending tone.
親切ぶってるけど、
ねえこう
そうだな。
Can't exactly sit back and watch. There are 5 of them. Can't be reckless. What can I do to help the girl out without getting Chinatsu in trouble?
話して。
Even as I'm trying to figure out what to do, the guys surround her and try to drag her off somewhere. One guy's pulling her by the arm, and what's more, 2 others try to lift her legs up to their shoulders.
あれのどこが身の上？
Just want to yell and start running. Chinatsu throws a rock at them. The rock crashes into a guy's face, and they all let go of the girl and turn
ちょっ
toward
と
us.
やめなよ。
なんだ貴様
The girl takes the chance to run off somewhere. Her problem is solved, but now we're left with an even bigger one on our plate. The snob, presumably the leader of the group, snorts and starts walking our way.
何よ。
He's trying to intimidate us, but it's not going to work on either of us.
いい度胸だな
ガキだとうっさいね。お前らだって学生じゃないのかよ。
It doesn't work, but Chinatsu ends up falling for his provocation. The smile on his face grows even more
お
twisted.
前たち首の後ろが
何？
That makes Chinatsu feel her nape, and I end up doing the same. That's where our neurojacks
セ
are.
カンドかどうせあの忌々しいせ
あ
I know I'm taking this bait, but it's too late to back down. I glare back at the
貴
guy.
様
あ、いちゃいけないのかよ
貴。様
I really want to let him manipulate me, but I immediately run a search for this park.
昔脳内チップに絡む事件で犠牲者に。
それを知っているならチップと AI で人間性を冒涜するエイリアニストが
誰がエイリアに？
Something snaps inside me, and I look to grab the guy by the collar, but Chinatsu immediately grabs my arm to stop me. Oh, I gotta calm down. He's trying to provoke us so we can claim the higher ground. Besides, there are 5 of them. If I start fighting them, Chinatsu could get caught in the
訂
mess.
正しろ。
実際貴様らはエイリアンから
He continues his provocations with a hateful tone.
AI は貴様らの愛するママなのだろうあ違ったかなあ
Ah?
It reminds me of the Dominion fanatic I faced in the arena yesterday.
俺たちをカルト信者と一緒にするな。
何がどう違う我々真人間から見れば似たようなものだ本当に隙味悪い連中だ肉体を軽視し恥ずかしめる
What did we ever do to deserve this? It's also absurd. Not even mad anymore, just baffled.
誰が薄気味
薄気味悪いものを毎日仮想に没入してそのいかがわしい
Jesus, what's with that pose?
いよいよ現実で試したくなったか
He gives Chinatsu a once-over, right from the top to the very bottom. He's looking at her with scorn in his eyes, like he spotted filth on the street. His whole royalty act is just that, an act. His real nature is seeping through his fake expression. This guy's rotten to the core.
何が汚らわしいって
言ってほしいかお前も仮想で SM やら乱行やらをやり尽くし現
Chinatsu looks to punch the guy, but I immediately grab her arm.
千夏。
だってこう
Tears are welling in her eyes, and I totally understand why she's so upset. I drag Chinatsu behind me.
やる気か来い現実の拳で殴り合うのは仮想のお遊戯とは違う
何を偉そうに女の子まで相手に。
気の違った野犬をぶちのめす
He leans in and peers into my face. His lips form a twisted smile, and his stinky breath escapes his mouth.
親の顔が見てみたい好き好んでこんな出来損ないの子供を作ったん
Before I knew it, I punched him square in the nose. Crap. Looks like bringing up my parents pushed me over the edge. He gets flung back for a moment, but he soon snorts out the blood in his nose and springs back upright.
かんな所詮だが先に手を出したなこれで制裁する名目
With those words, he takes up a fighting stance. His eyes are filled with an animalistic joy.
刻みつけてやる真人間の姿を見るたびに身をすくめ怯えるようなトラウマを
He's a sadist. It looks like that ridiculous stance is second nature to him. He's probably put in a ton of work to fight like that. We messed with the wrong guy. A shiver runs down my spine. I whisper to Chinatsu behind me.
あいつしたら 一目散に。
けどちょっと
I don't need to hear a response. I raise a fist and charge right in.
走れちなる
My punch lands right in the jaw of a guy near me. He falls to the ground in slow motion, his eyes rolled all the way back in his head. Immediately after that, I sense someone rushing in behind me and drill a back elbow into his belly. 2 down, 3 to go. By that very moment, one of them grabs my collar and throws a punch at me. Sharp pain shoots through my face. I feel faint and the ground comes crashing toward me.
ネットに引きこもってないデータを消費するばかりに世界に何も貢献できないガクツが
Kicks rain down on me before I can get back to my feet. The hits make me moan in pain.
醜いんだ犬が豚めらお前らを見て吐き気がする
Damn it, not this again. As my conscience fades, memories of the past resurface.
お前みたいなのお前もエイリアンなんだろ
How can there be so much hatred between us when we don't know the first thing about each other? I hope Chinatsu got away all right. It's the only thing I'm worried about.
こいつらもうやめろ
I hear Chinatsu's voice, accompanied by the sound of a noticeably loud blow. Please don't tell me they hit her. I open my eyes. Chinatsu's standing in front of me, half crouched. One of her legs is stretched out, and on the other end of it is a guy slowly crumbling to the ground. She lets out a war cry and springs into the air. She then swings her leg into the jaw of one of the guys. Another one bites the dust. Is she actually, like, really strong?
こ
The pain in my upper body is making it hard for me to talk. Seeing that I can't get up, Chinatsu grabs my hand.
うドーピング野郎なんかと一緒にするなこれは努力と根性の賜物海兵隊のアンちゃんから習った
Chinatsu has a look of anger on her face.
お前もってことはあんた秘蔵師なんだろ道理で根性がひねくれてると思った
Designer children. People who are born gifted with both brains and brawn through genetic modification. They were all the rage a few years ago, particularly among the anti-AI faction. The process was the subject of fierce ethical debate, and now it's close to being banned. Stop. Don't say any more.
誰がエイリコに友達にひどいことしやがって
She went and said it.
貴様
The air suddenly freezes over. The faces of the Hosho guys are overcome with fury. Chinatsu gets ready to fight with an equally angry expression. Strong as she is, I can't let her fight alone. Actually, it wouldn't matter even if she were stronger than me. I just don't want to make her fight. I don't want to go through something like that ever again. Grab a rock and get to my feet in front of Chinatsu. Unknowingly, I express my rage in words. Go on, try something. I'll fucking kill you.
ほらガキども
Suddenly a whistle and an angry voice rings out from behind. Turn around and see a policeman running down the promenade.
こ
Chinatsu rushes to me and knocks the rock out of my hand. I finally return to my senses.
大丈夫かね君たち救急車を呼ぶかいえ
The Hosho guys are nowhere to be seen. They probably ran for it once they saw the cop.
学生かここら辺に来ない方がいい
はい
ガキどもがこんなことまでバカな大人の真似を
Cop walks away, grumbling to himself. Made it somehow. Once I realize that, I'm overcome with relief and fatigue.
まったくだよな学生の俺たちがバカバカしい
こ
The moment I breathe easy again, my knees give
う
way.
ちょっとしっかりして
My mind fades to black.
ああ
注意つきましたよ
Rain's staring at me with a worried look. I didn't realize I'd fallen asleep.
倉浜駅かなんだか懐かしいな
青州学園都市はここから乗り換えが必要でしたから
なんだレインもここには
We pass the ticket turnstiles and head toward the
俺
exit.
の故郷はもっと向こう倉浜から乗り換えた先の
そうですか
南八坂は本当の田舎だったよ少し離れたところに大学の研究所があるだけの森はもちろん畑や田んぼまで残ってた川にはまだ魚が泳いでいたし
And Nanaha and Mom lived there. The greenery of the place comes to mind, bringing with it a sudden feeling of homesickness.
倉浜市はここらじゃ一番の都会だったな青州学園都市はろくな娯楽施設がなくて遊ぶ時はいつも倉浜市さ俺の初めてのデートも倉浜でさこの駅を出たところに見える映画館であれ
Yup. Pass through the station's exit and come to a standstill on the spot. There's nothing outside. Just a makeshift station building. A bunch of barracks built close together.
なんだこれは
There's a fence blocking the way right outside the station. On the other side, as far as the eye can see, is a wasteland with wrecked buildings everywhere.
降りる駅を間違え
I look back toward the station and see the words written on the station nameplate. Kurahama Ruins.
ここが倉浜市だって。そんなバカな。
Rain's got her eyes fixed on the ground, doesn't say anything. I notice that she's biting down hard on her lip.
申し訳ありません。
She finally replies with a faint, trembling voice. Looking at her sorrowful expression, my brain starts working again. As it gradually connects the dots, a void opens up inside of me.
そんな。
My knees lose strength and I find myself sinking down to the bare ground.
倉浜市は学園は南朝川。
Still biting her lip, Rain slowly shakes her head.
ここ数日どう伝えたらいいのかずっとごめんなさい。
Her voice still hasn't stopped trembling. She's trying to suppress her emotions with all she's got. My eyes lose focus, the people and places of my past flash in front of me. I start having trouble breathing as the tears flow out. I don't know how long we spent crying after that. Without a word, we just clung to each other and cried our hearts out until we calmed down, or maybe we just ran out of tears. All I can feel anymore is a dull, throbbing void inside of me. It really feels like my brain has turned to lead.
何があったか。今まで俺を気遣いありがとう。
灰色のクリスマス。それがこの惨劇につけられた中。
クリスマスに起きた。
She
灰
nods.
色のクリスマスを起こしたとされる集団は国際手配されるもの、そして注意はその集団をずっと追い続けていたのです。
Right. I was on the trail of the group that was behind this tragedy. That's why I chose a life on the battlefield. They took everything from me that day. They were called
ドレクスラー機関という言葉に
Drexler Institute. Drexler Institute Lab? Those words sent a chill down my spine. What is it? It sounds familiar. Yeah, I was on the trail of Drexler Institute members all this while. Pursued them for years as a mercenary. But why? Why was I after them? The moment I try to remember the reason, an intense headache assaults me. These words are the key. I ignore the pain and decide to run a search. Drexler Institute. I immediately opened a dialog box. The cursor in the voice input menu quietly blinks in front of my eyes, waiting for my instructions. With my mouth closed, I whisper the keywords to the search engine.
ドレクスラー機関研究所検索
The data is pulled up in an instant, displayed in the form of a menu item. As much as I try to fight it, my heart begins racing. My hands continue to tremble. Ignoring those physical protests in my subconscious, I hit the
ド
icon.
レクスラー機関は第2世代ナノマシン通称アセンブラの実用化のために統合が設立した
Codenamed Assembler.
その遠隔
Ah.
スキップ。
When I mutter that under my breath, the machine voice pauses just for a moment.
第2世代ナノマシンは自己増殖能力
スキップ。
こうしてアセンブラの開発は最終段階を迎えアジアドレ
The data displayed before me contains details of the Drexler Institute's history and what its research led to.
がこれは予想
See,
もしなか
I
った
told you that Kurihara motherfucker was shady as shit. I told you. I fucking told you. Because they said he was the one, like, really championing this fucking assembler technology. Now, I don't know what the details are, how that led to what happened here, but clearly that institute played a big part in what happened here. So, I'm pretty sure Kurihara is definitely an accomplice to this shit, if not some kind of ringleader, right? I told y'all from the jump. The moment that dude showed up, like, don't trust him. Immediately off rip, don't trust him. And I was right. I was right. Don't trust him. Sharp pain runs through my chest as a dark, mysterious emotion starts eating away at my heart. Stop right there. You shouldn't learn anymore. Stifle the screams in my mind and click on Tragic End.
年12月24日午後8時32分研究所施設からのナノマシン流出が確認され 瞬時にして研究所周囲は壊滅。
The data in front of me heartlessly lists the casualties and losses in cold hard numbers and symbols. The information streaming in through my eyes and my ears awakens my foggy mind, making memories spring forth from its very depths.
流出には何ら前兆がなく、多重に設けられた観測装置もこの事故の前兆を察知できず。
Those memories mercilessly pound away at my feelings. I realize that my teeth are clattering and my body's grown cold, starts shivering like something broke inside.
流出の原因は不明。研究員の主要メンバーは事故直前に
Yeah, the lead researchers escaped,
現在も潜伏
including a Mr. Kurihara. I was trembling on that Christmas Eve, too. I was trembling because I was overcome by the kind of fear and sorrow that threatened to drive me insane.
8時52分、統合軍アジア司令部は超法規的措置をブングニールによる汚染地域の浄化射撃を開始。
Oh. I remember now. Yeah, I saw hell on earth that day.
数波の全力射撃により汚染地域を焼却。事件は灰色のクリスマスとして記憶され、
They used a fucking orbital laser to cleanse the area. Good God. Before I know it, I'm cowering on the ground. I've lost my voice, my stomach's churning, and I flail away at the ground. My eyes are wide open, but I can't see a thing. My body refuses to listen to me, but I still keep crawling forward. I finally see a crowd of people with their eyes open wide in terror. They form a wave that floods the street and rushes toward me. I fight against that wave and continue walking toward the labs. People run into me, nearly knock me down to the ground several times, but I get back on my feet and keep walking. I was heading for the lab that day. Right when I was about to start riding Chinatsu's bike there, the endless swarm of evacuees stopped me. As I inch forward, a middle-aged soldier stands in front of me. I finally noticed that soldiers have formed a human wall up ahead. He grabs my shirt and yells in my face. I grab his arm and yell back at him with everything I've got. Suddenly the man's eyes open wide in surprise. I notice that all the soldiers are staring at something behind me. Laser beam. Turn around and I'm left speechless. There's an arrow of light sticking into the ground from the sky above. The crowd falls deathly silent. Everyone is staring up at the sky like something's beckoning them to. Then a moment later, a massive roar echoes in the air, and the ground starts shaking. A second, and then a third. The arrows kept raining down. A cloud of dust forms in the horizon and rushes toward us like a tidal wave. People break out screaming all around me, screams loud enough to tear my ears apart. Everyone starts running all at once, and the soldiers and I both get caught up in the throng. Someone pushes me aside, and I get thrown to the edge of the street. The next moment, my body gets hit by burning hot winds and shockwaves, and I really can't see anything anymore. Groaning in pain, I open my eyes to find myself in an unfamiliar street corner. The crowd is nowhere to be seen. I must go. I still have to go. But where? What are you talking about, you fool? Isn't that obvious?
空のところに行かなきゃ。水無月空のところに行かなくちゃいけないんだ。
Sora. Ugh.
ちょっとあなた。
Turn around and see a girl standing there with her hand raised.
だってまこちゃんにお友達ができたんだもん。お姉ちゃんとしてはお土産を用意してよろしくって言わなくちゃだよ。
Right. I met Sora and Makoto, a pair of sisters who became very close friends of mine.
嘘をついたのね。ひどい。本気で同情しかけたのに。この変態 NPC オタク。
Sora Minazuki. She fought with me almost every day and sometimes randomly played pranks on me.
やっぱり付き合い始めて最初私もポーと一緒に。
Gradually, our feelings for each other began to change.
もしもし、空。
ごめん、まだ研究所前なの。
わかった。そこにいろ。
バイクでも往復したら。
計画は変更。夜中のツーリングにしよう。
That day, Sora was right by the Drexler lab. She was waiting for me there. The Emotionless voice in my head continues to list the casualty count.
注意しっかりしてください。
なぜ
アセンブラが暴走したアセンブラが数十分で研究所周辺は汚染され、近隣の住人数万名が
この荒野は
Rain carefully chooses her words with a pained look.
グングニールというその
あ
Gungnir, a satellite-based defense system that GU had deployed in orbit. Its core was composed of a group of satellites capable of anti-surface laser fire.
もしかして
アセンブラによる被害の拡大を防ぐため、グングニールが汚染地域への大規模な射撃、アセンブラとともに町も人も全てが焼き尽くされてしまったのです。さもなければアセンブラの汚染は地球全土に広がり、事件は灰色のクリスマスと名付けられ、
Don't have any words to respond. The GU's peacemaker had played a crucial role in putting an end to the war. One full-power shot from it was said to be equal to a nuke. I gaze out at the horizon once again. All I can see is an empty void. No vegetation, no signs of life. Gungnir had broken down my school, my hometown, and everything else, melted it, and turned it into nothing but dust. There's a hole in my heart. It's a terrible sense of emptiness that I can't deal with. My mind and body have both gone completely numb.
注意。
すまない。
いや、私は
Yeah.
待合室で待機していますから。
Rain heads back toward the station. Now that I'm alone, the faces and names of my friends come to mind one by one. Shinatsu, Nanoha, Aki, Makoto, Masa. I get lost in thought about my student days. I remember something that happened on the day of Nanoha's entrance ceremony. The day a new term began for us. Everything started with the meeting I had that day.
絶好の入学式日和。
Nanoha gazes up at the sky and stretches her brand new uniform, giving her a fresh and vibrant look.
眠い。
ほらせっかく起きたんだから頑張ろうよ。
その役目、こうに任せて。
ほら諦めて目を開いて右足と左足を。
こうの鬼。
She's going to be like this every morning. Nanoha and Shinatsu are smiling at our exchange. I don't know if it's because of the sunshine, but they both look kind of dazzling right now.
早く学園で寝かせて。だってさ。
Not long after, Nanoha disappears into the auditorium. We get to chill outside until the ceremony's done. The bell rings. At the same time, the auditorium door opens and the students inside come flowing out in numbers.
ほらアキネ入学式が終わったみたい。菜の葉ちゃん。あいた。おい。
Waving her hand around, Nanoha comes running toward us.
皆さん。
Her uniform bathed in sunlight, my childhood friend has a rather fresh look to her today, even if I do say so
お
myself.
めでとう菜の葉。
ありがとう、先輩。
だから無理して先輩とかつけなくていいから。
でも感無量って感じ。これでコウと同じ学園生になったんだよ。
She may be smiling, but her eyes are moist.
ほらほら。泣くのは卒業式まで取っておきなさいよ。
ちなみに俺も呼び捨ててくれていいからね。これからもよろしくな菜の葉ちゃん。
こちらこそ須藤先輩。
An embarrassed smile forms on Nanoha's lips and... Just then, a hysterical voice echoes in the air. I look in the direction of the voice and see a bunch of freshman girls gathered around.
喧嘩か？
にしては。
Take a closer look and find one girl surrounded by a bunch of others.
またあんたと3年間一緒なわけ？
That's rude. She seems nice.
あんたさ、病気なんでしょ？
What the fuck? The girl's biting down on her lip and letting the others say whatever they
こい
want.
つ電脳症なんだけどさ、人の通話とか
ちょっと
Maybe that pissed the other girls off because they start lashing out at her even more.
入学式早々にいじ。
ほら。成功。
ああ。
I approach those girls. Anger seems to have gotten the best of them. I gotta stay cool.
私同じ量夜中に人のプライベートスペース。
あのさ、うちの校風にいじめ
そうそう寝てる間ほんと不気味なんだよね。そういう病気だからとか病気なら何してもいいとか。
自分で他人のプライベート覗いといてさ。
何そ
お前人の
おい、お前らいい加減にしろ。
Crap. I didn't mean to yell out like that. I'm like, nah, I was fully expecting that. I'm like, nah, this next one's gonna be something like, hey, shut the fuck up. I'm clenching my fist, which is now starting to tremble in anger. Try to hold it
な
back.
んですか先輩。
Girls now turn their attention to me. They surround me and give me the stink
関
eye.
係なくもないだろ
後輩なにいいとこ見せようとか。
What are you about?
ダッサ手をブルブルさ。
う。こいつら。
Bitches. Yeah, talking to them isn't gonna work. That's when Chinatsu barges in front of
あ
me.
のさ、彼は時代錯誤な人だからその分私があんたら校舎裏でまとめて。
The air freezes over in an instant. The girls go quiet, intimidated by Chinatsu's menacing glare.
行こうぜ。
Yeah, that's what I thought. And they leave in a hurry. Looks like they want no part of her.
助かったよ、千夏。
怖かった。柄にもなくスケバンみたいな演技しちゃって。
演技にしては板についていないから拳下ろせ、千夏と。
Wait, I was just kidding. Fuck. I turn my attention to the girls being bullied and see her staring at us, her eyes open wide in surprise.
大丈夫？
I don't know why she's apologizing, really. I reassure her with a big smile and look toward the girls running with their tails between their legs.
こいつらにいじめだったら私が話しつけてあげる。
Aww. Her face only gets all strained and tears well up in the corner of her eyes. She desperately bites her lip to stop herself from crying, but that only leads to her making some pretty weird noises.
なあ。
The moment I talk to her, she starts bawling. Okay, this is bad. What do I do? Should I offer her my handkerchief or something? As I frantically try to figure out how to respond, someone smacks me on the
ち
back.
ょっとあなた。
Turn around and see a girl standing there with her hand raised. Her face is warped in anger, and right next to it is her palm raised in the air. Ow. The sky is so bright it stings my eyes.
あ
I say that, I pull out tissues in my nostrils. Looks like the bleeding stopped. Though my cheek still stings from that slap.
でも才能
あ、まったくだ。なんでいきなり俺が
と勘違いしたんだよ。
なんだかな。ナノハ、その子の顔見たか？
あんまりいきなりだったし、すぐにいじめられてた子の手を
まったく。
許してあげようよ。きっとすごく頭に血が上って。
She seemed older than the other girl. Are they sisters or something? If they are, I do see where she was coming from.
鼻血が。
ああ、くそ。
Nana offers me some extra tissues even before I can hold out a hand. Stick them into my nostrils and hold down the tip of my nose.
じゃあちょっとジュース買ってくる。フォーはお茶でいいんだよね。
ああ、
ティッシュ足りなかったら上を向いといて。まだ横になってた
Just
方
look
が
up.
いいよ。
I wouldn't recommend it.
了解。
How attentive and considerate my childhood friend is. She really does know me best. Stare warmly at her as she runs off.
これで
Follow Nano's advice, lie on the grass, and think back to what happened before. What a violent girl. It happened so quickly that I couldn't get a good look at her face. I wish I had, because I want to stay far, far away from her. That said, if she's a student here too, we'll probably run into each other at some point. I started to get my priorities mixed up at some point, but Chinatsu and I went on that date the other day in exchange for her piloting a simulacrum. She's gonna have her first experience today, with Masa and I here to observe.
大丈夫。初ダイブに比べればな。
でもこれ組んだのハキ先輩だよね。
ああ見えても。
知ってるけどさ。
じゃ、俺たちは先にシフトするからな。
ああ、ちょっと待って。
ほら。
もう本当に強引なんだから。
Despite her complaining, Chinatsu seems to be ready. She takes a deep breath and
フォーマット開始。
Chinatsu's body gradually gets enveloped in armor and expands in size, almost like the world's zooming into it.
フォーマット終了。ラン。
Girl, why your machine got titties? And so a simulacrum similar to ours, but red in color, materializes in front of us. It's not just the color difference, it's the fact that her armor straight up has titties. Did Rain's armor have titties? Because if it did, I didn't see it. At least I didn't catch it. I didn't recognize it. But Chinatsu's armor, it's just got... Now that's a big old fucking rack, right? That's... What the fuck?
おめでとう。これでシフト完了だよ。
すごい。まるで自分の体みたいに動いて。
デザインの細部が俺たちと違うな。
Subtly different? Oh, you mean the big fucking bazongas?
元の体が違うからな。個人の特性とかに合わせて
そんなの初めて聞くよ。
言ったろ。アキネーはウィザ。
本当にすごい人だったんだ。これすごい。駆けずり回ってると余計に元気になっちゃいそう。うん。これならいけるかも。
ん？何をする気だ？
Her body springs up high off the floor, and her kick forms an afterimage of an arc in the air. This girl's awesome. Mr. Katahara was right on the money. She might be a natural at this.
よし、大成功。
As I start staring in wonder at her skill, she loses her balance and falls down.
おいおい。
鉄の体なのに痛いよ。
痛みは体の警報信号だから、痛みを完全になくしちゃった方が
お師匠さんの受け売りでしょ。
まあね。
まあでもこの痛みが癖になるんだよな。
そうなんだよな。
あんたらマゾ。
I love when she backs up as she says that.
違うっての。な、痛みの伴わない戦いなんて。
はいはい。じゃあ早速。
お手合わせ。
おい、ちょっと。
それじゃ遠慮なくサイドステップキー。ねえ、こうちょっと。
どうしたナノハ？
いいからすぐにも。
First thing I feel after logging out is a piercing pain in my arm. I open my eyes and see Nano dragging me by the arm with all her might.
痛い。お前痛いな。
こうこそ何をしてるのよ。待ってる。
な。
Started to argue with something. That's when I realized something. What is this soft warm feeling on my back? I look over my shoulder and see Chinatsu clinging onto me from behind. Her eyes open up right in front of mine.
ただいま。ちょっと。何女の子突き飛ばしてるわけ？
っていうかちな。
何をしてる？こうにぴったり張り付いて。
おいおい、痛いな。
あらま。
Masa and Aki joined the show too. They probably heard Nanoe yelling.
ちなつ。
雨の中走ってきてずぶ濡れになったからついつい多分無視。
そうか。
感心するのはそこじゃないだろ。
そうね。
お前。
Nanoe covers my eyes before I can even finish.
今日は見ちゃダメ。
見ない。
もう前ぐらい貸しますから。
I love Chinatsu.
どうしてそんな状態で抱きついたりするんですか？だって急いでたし、それに菜の葉ちゃんの服だと胸が大きさじゃなくて体格の問題っていうか。もういいですから。了解了解。じゃあお風呂。
There are footsteps running up down the hallway, and my eyes are finally freed. The little scene seems to have worn Nanoe
ちな
out.
つ、今一戦終えたばかりだから、きっとハイになってるんだよ。
もういいよ。よく考えたら別に私が怒ることで。
With her shoulders dropped, Nanoe exits stage right.
フォローは俺に任せな。
ああ、すまん。
Masa follows after her, leaving Aki and me all alone.
なんだい？
別に
言いたいことがあるなら。
人気者。
Hot stuff. I should go cool off.